Think of TV greats, we do think, of course, of those iconic TV series. There are so many of them, aren't there, when you look back and you kind of think, oh, I remember that. Of course, today, sadly, we have to mention the loss of the wonderful David McCallum. A lot of people have been asking me online, Neil, did you meet him? I did, alongside Robert Vaughan as well, who became a really good friend, in fact. Robert was the more tetchy of the two, you know, kind of knew what he wanted, that sort of thing, liked a certain way to be photographed, etc. David was far more down to earth, a Scottish person by birth, a Glaswegian, and of course an incredibly talented actor. For many people, he came to prominence way before The Man from U.N.C.L.E. because he starred alongside the brilliant man himself, Kenneth More, in A Night to Remember, all about the infamous Titanic disaster. He told me that it really resonated with him though, because they filmed that particular movie over here in England at big tanks out at Pinewood, and he said when you consider exactly what those terrible people had to go through, this terrible situation, it was really awful, he said, and it really did stay with him a long time. Of course, fame came to him because of his dashing, good, fair-haired looks, and as he pointed out to me, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was the TV show that changed all of that. Originally, he wasn't the sidekick, he was just the sort of counterpart, and then as the show developed, really became into their own. Did you know, though, that this particular series was all based on the success of the Bond movies? Lots of shows were looking at these sort of espionage and spy thrillers, that sort of thing, and that's the reason why they decided to go into full production. Robert Vaughan himself naturally saw himself as the star, but lots and lots of fan mail was for the very good-looking David. But as he pointed out to me, what really took off for him was the fact that suddenly he became something of a pop icon, even though he wasn't a pop star. He said appearing on the BBC TV series Jukebox Jury changed all of that. Lots of girls suddenly found him, in his words, attractive, and that really escalated the show's popularity. Not only that, they had figurines, action dolls, annuals, posters, all the things that we take as branding today really started way back before we'd even known it. David McCallum was a consummate actor, still having a big career right through to the present day, appearing on NCI and stuff like that. But of course, it's The Man from U.N.C.L.E. that people will know him for. It was one of those groundbreaking series with all the gadgets that all young boys loved. For my generation, though, he did also resonate for a particular period. He was lucky enough to star alongside the beautiful and enigmatic Joanna Lumley in Sapphire and Steel. Although it was an early tea time series, I found it quite frightening. One of those sci-fis just ahead of the cult, of course, of things like Star Wars and stuff like that. As he pointed out to me, it was a very successful series, but not many people knew what to do with that success. Of course, it was a regional ITV show, and at the time, although they wanted to sell it around the world, it could have easily been turned into a big screen movie, but apparently TV bosses didn't think it would take off enough. How wrong were they? Let's thank, of course, and remember the wonderful David McCallum for all the hours of entertainment that he gave us, alongside so many other stars also. And as ever, thank you for the memories. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.